Hi, y'all. There's a lot more of you now than there were even last week, which is very cool. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love reading your comments, hearing what y'all are thinking about the project, how it connects with you. Makes me very happy. And I'm glad you liked that last video so much. I like it too. Honestly, the album's a bop. This has been a historic vote in that this is the most amount of people that I've ever voted. It was so close the entire time, and I wanted to make sure that I could get this video out in a timely manner. I don't really like waiting too long to make videos, but I did post that poll a little late. So today we're gonna listen to Mitski's album, The Land is Inhospitable and So Are We, and the next video will be Lana Del Rey's album. I think a part of me has been putting off listening to this because I know that Mitski said that it shouldn't be labeled as sad girl music, but like, I'm a little scared. I think it's gonna be great though. It is like a rainy day, and so it feels like the perfect time to listen to something like that. The sky's a little overcast. If you want to hear more of my music taste, what I'm listening to, stuff that I would share with y'all, you should definitely check out my Instagram. I'm always posting songs there and just living my beautiful, creative, wonderful life. Looking at the album cover, it feels like it's going to be a movement, a word. I mean, even this like dancer position that Mitski's taken, the cursive on the front of the cover, the difference in the black and white photo with like the peach toned background and then the more vibrant orange lettering. It just feels like there's going to be a mixture of sadness and joy, but like realizing that the sadness is necessary, that we move through these emotions. So I can't even label them as sad. I literally haven't heard anything yet, but moving through these emotions as best we can and taking time to stop and smell the roses. That's the vibe that I'm getting from this album cover. Also from the title, The Land is Inhospitable and So Are We. That's so real. The land literally is becoming inhospitable. Like, we did that. Therefore, we are also that. From a climate perspective, I'm with you all the way, Mitski.
There's a bug like an angel stuck. Sometimes a drink feels like family.
There are some really beautiful harmonies on that first song. I'm thinking about the creation of all things. Where do things come from? Why do things sometimes feel like they have a bit of a double-edged sword? For the first song off this project, it is a strong introduction. I think it gives me a sense of the indie undertones of this project and what we might be dealing with in a metaphorical sense, but also pieces of reality, talking about drinking habits, talking about the connection between where we receive these bad habits. Like, something feels quite generational. I feel like we will be discussing the legacy of things or the inheritance of things. This song feels very cinematic. I love what I heard from the production. I was allowed to go deeper and deeper into the music, and I felt so connected to it. Lyrically, I did not catch much. The things that I did catch, because I think my senses were a little bit overwhelmed, and I know it's hard for me at times to process everything that I'm hearing on a first listen. Second listens are really where the bread and butter is. There is a level of underappreciation that I'm hearing in this relationship with this person, and I can't even say that it is in a relationship because it does feel like it could be a critique of self at the same time. We haven't really established a narrative for what the basis of this project is when it comes to discussing these emotions. the idea that this person is consuming things in the wrong places while you're away, and the song even being titled Buffalo Replace feels somewhat like a cog in the machine. Maybe being in this relationship is somewhat of an endless loop, but like when you are unavailable, there's no waiting for you in that circumstance. That's tricky. Things are emotionally deep and emotionally intelligent. I do love the relationship of how we discuss our emotional connection to other people in the same way that we discuss the land, because I feel like I'm picking up on pieces of gentrification as well. Just the changing landscape, the changing environment, and how that changing environment changes us. Genius. Let's keep listening.
All of our love, filling all of our room, your warm voice, heaven, heaven.
I love painting a portrait that exists in a series of past moments, having a sip of someone's coffee after they left to be closer to their lips, and that feeling like heaven. So much of this feels like it exists in memory. It is somewhat timeless, but it's also chronicling the passing of time. And if I could take this music and make it into something tangible and something visual, I could see this being a series of sets in a house, different rooms, different vignettes, and following this ghost-like entity of a person who may be alive. It doesn't mean that they've passed on, but that their presence is always lingering around you. And that when you get the opportunity to envelop yourself in it, that you will always take that chance.
I sip on the rest of the coffee you left. Hear the storm dances outside.
The production is very soft, orchestral. It feels grand, almost like it's sweeping you off your feet, but it's still calm like a lullaby. I feel like there's so much to dissect in this that there's definitely going to be a near miss for me to actually categorize what I'm hearing and explain it in a way that makes sense, because it's written in parables. Like, the lyrics are so beautiful and they're not as straightforward. And because of that, I feel like I have to read them in order to understand them. But I do also just love listening to them, not having to like stop and check the lyrics on my phone as much, as I feel like that'll take away from the experience. I mean, I think that even talking in between songs takes away from that experience, because I don't get to listen to it fully throughout without interruption. But wow, I love these vignettes. I love this landscaping. I love the relationship between the spiritual world, the physical world, and the emotional world. And having heaven be a place, having the land being a place, and then having this person being a place feels so visceral.
I don't like my mind. I don't like being left alone in a room. All for me.
From the opening lyric, I was aghast at what I was hearing. Not liking your mind, feeling like the room is opinionated, pleading with the audience to keep this profession because it is the thing that keeps you sane. It's the thing that keeps you most alive and makes you feel like you can quell the other disturbances in your life. And the dropping of that fourth wall, the direct connection, because I feel like so much of this can be mystical, can feel ethereal, may not be as direct towards the audience as much as it does connect with the audience. Like, it definitely does do that. Dropping that veil and just outright giving us this emotion is creatively genius and incredibly intense.
And it may be a few years, but
also love how short it is. I feel like each length of a song is really saying the totality of what we have to say and nothing more. And the flexibility and the fluidity in that makes me feel like this album was so carefully curated. It feels like the amount of reality that we get in this project, which is very real, exists in a liminal space. We can only talk about it in this liminal space. We can't talk about it in the confines of what reality can give us, which is realizing that the walls aren't talking about you, realizing that you can sit down with this person and have this conversation, but the distance in the emotion and what we understand about ourselves, the distance that creates in that relationship makes it nearly impossible. The confines of reality make it impossible. So we have to move it to this other space. The amount of presence that this project demands out of you in a space where presence is there but reality isn't is a masterpiece.
There's a deal you can make on a midnight walk alone. Can't bear to keep it. I'd give it.
This is one of those projects that reminds you that you're alive. The longer I listen, the more I'm like, okay, checking in with my soul, checking in with my mind, checking in with all of my metaphysical properties. How are we responding to each other? Does anybody need help right now? Can I get you anything? A glass of water, maybe? I feel like we are selling our soul. This is a moment where I'm thinking more about the afterlife or the price that we've paid to release that afterlife or to release this current life. We made this deal, but we made it in a way that it's like if you sell your soul, you release access to that joy, to the feeling of being alive, even though you can beg someone to take it from you because it feels so unbearable at times.
And replied, nothing speaks to you in the night. Your pain is eased, but you'll never be free.
I love that we are hearing these lyrics through this movement, through the movement of memories, through the movement of walks. Like every song really does have a portrait. And if you made a series of paintings out of this, you could probably see the journey as clearly as you can hear it in these songs. If spirit does exist all around you, in the rooms, in the birds, in the buffaloes, in the people that you meet, and you're always interacting with it, when you do beg for something like your soul to be taken from you, you do lose contact with all of these things, the deep contact that is intrinsic in who you are as a person and who every human is as a person. We're all connected by this energy. This is really beautiful and really mystifying, and such orchestral production feels like it's setting the stage for an epic journey. There's a lot of specific choices and points in times where we say, I'm going to drop the veil now and speak directly to you. Now in this next song, I'm not going to. I'm just going to explain the story to you. And then I'm going to tell you the story of a feeling and this other person and how that's made me feel. And all of this comes into contact with the land that I'm on and the way that I am moving through the world.
I shovel all those memories, clear the path to drive to the store. Been through the downspout as I lie awake in the door.
Oh my God. How can you take someone to such a height and then be like, the song's over now? I want 6 more minutes of that. I need more of that. We don't know if these memories are good or bad, and I don't think that's really the point. I think it's the fact that they exist. The idea of a memory falling like snow, something that can change and melt and turn into water or ice. The idea that memories are mutable and that you can ignore them, you can clear them and drive to the store. The relationship between emotions and place is wild. And then connecting that all back to like your bedroom where you just think and write songs to yourself in your mind. Like,
And if I break, could I go on break?
I also love that We have lyrics and then we have beautiful production, and they are taking an equal amount of time on this album. When we're listening to Mitski, we can really sit down and listen, and then the production comes up and Mitski stops talking and it's like, okay, it's time for this now. Feel the swell of the emotion with the music, feel connected to all of the surrounding, understand the place that you are in right now and the context to which you are listening to this, and feel that emotion throughout your body. I love how it felt like a cascade of snow at the end of it too. Like I felt like I just got caught in an avalanche.
Here before and after me, shining down on me. I love my nothing in the world belongs to me.
This is the first song that's been straightforward about love, although I did feel love in other places. And I do appreciate that the perspective is that the love that you give is emanating from you. It does belong to you. As much as you can bestow it to other people, share it with other people, experience it from other people, the depth of the love that you have really is yours. And it also can be turned around and given back to yourself. It's a state of being.
My baby here on earth showed me what my heart was worth. Nothing in the world is mine for free but my love, mine.
If love were a place, the place would be you. And I do like the idea of filtering all of these emotions, all of these revelations through the idea of where is this place? And if you are a place that is inhospitable for love, then you won't be able to receive it or give it. The song feels like it is taking you away with the wind. We feel very swept up in it. I feel swept up by this entire thing. And I don't even know if it's like sweeping me off my feet or like sweeping me out the door with a broom. Like as much as it can be emotionally tough in places, it is also very soft. And it provides the perfect environment to hear things of this depth.
The frost, it looks like dust settled on the world, with no one to share the memory.
There are pieces of this that do feel apocalyptic. If the world were to end from a catastrophic climate event, what would that look like? What would that loneliness look like? What would that feeling look like? I love picturing this as a climate project, and I'm always in awe of and have serious respect for songs or project where artists are talking about other things veiled through different language or brought to you in a way that makes it more accessible for you to feel that emotion. I do think that a lot of this is metaphorical for emotions that we feel, but I can't stop thinking about the land, and I feel like it's intentional that I should be thinking about the land.
You're my best friend. Now I've no one to tell. It's just witnesses me.
The feeling of isolation, the fact that this character has been isolated this entire time, the connections are through memories or through feelings of memories, the idea that the places that you are in are judging you, that you can feel the collapsing of your own mind or your mind and your thoughts reverberating off of the surfaces that you're around and the memories that that brings to you. Place in this instance means I am lonely, but not only am I lonely, I am alone. I am cold, and so much of the world has changed, and that has left me to be alone because I was hiding. From an emotional standpoint, this hiding does keep you away from everyone else, but in a way it's also kept you, quote unquote, safe. However, that safety, to even tie it back to the bird in the tree, that safety means that you're disconnected from anyone else. If you want to relinquish the emotion, relinquish the pain, relinquish the things that you may feel because it is emotionally complex or it feels hard or forces you to look at things that you don't want to look at, that means that you are no longer in contact with the world and the place and these people as they are.
Remember when we met? It's gone, we just see.
just so beautiful. And I think the production also reflected a shooting star as well. Like I felt it starting to swell up towards the end. It felt like it was flying further and further away, or maybe even closer, but I was definitely getting a sense of distance. I love that we are traveling through time, through the stars, putting all the things that we feel into places that we feel them. So we are connecting ourselves deeply with our inner world and our outer world.
You're an angel, I'm a dog. I destroy you like I am.
I don't have anything to say about that. I don't even know what I could say about that. That was so wild. That was so vulnerable. Thinking that someone is so perfect, feeling that someone is so perfect, and feeling the ways that you are imperfect next to them, or the ways that you betray them, or the ways that you have your own mistakes next to them. And that meaning that when you're no longer together, you don't deserve to be alive.
I can feel it getting
It does continue to feel like the present is all we have, even as we talk about what happens after life, or the loss of life, or the idea that you can owe so much to someone else just as much as you owe so much to the place that you're in and the land that you're on. Ways that we take care of each other. I did not expect that coming second to last. There's so much to unpack there that it's wild to put it near the end, and now I'm stressed about this last song. So let's take a listen to it, and then we'll come back in and give more finality to the entire project.
splash water on my neck, laughing in the mirror. Curtains are open, let the darkness see me.
I love the soundscapes that we have of nature. It makes us feel more connected to the land and being king of the land, being seen in the dark or seen by the light. It really makes us a part of that nature, a place inside of ourselves, recognizing that home does exist inside of you.
I'm king.
I don't know if it was the crickets coming at the end of I'm Your Man, but the second I started thinking about nature and soundscapes, even though a lot of these songs have felt like wind, have felt like I'm being sucked up in the wind, the last song felt like the building of a mountain. I felt us climbing up that with every single second. The production really took me there. This has been amazing, and I'm very glad that y'all voted for it. It is one of 2 videos that I promised to you. I promise that I will do Lana Del Rey next. Mitski has done incredible work on this album. I need to listen to this in the privacy of my room with the lights turned down low and just like feel it on my own. But I do love everything that I've heard, and I feel like it's relationship to climate, to place, to emotion, to the idea that we are a reflection of our surroundings, that we can be mirrors for all that's going on around us, and how we decide to use that energy, how we decide to place that love, that care, that intention, or that destruction will continue to affect our outside world as much as it does our inside world. I love that. That's all I have for you today. If you've made it to this point in the video, I appreciate you so much, and I hope you're having a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and I will see you in the next one.